Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 25th of May, 2025. Marvelous. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you. This time, we have a fragrance rotation in our midst. And what a week it has been, looking at the perfumes I have worn. It's been difficult recently as far as wearing perfume's concerned because the weather's been like summer. We haven't had rain for a long time. Broke yesterday, managed to get some rain yesterday, and then it's rained again today. It's meant to be nice again tomorrow and then rain all next week. So we need the rain. Absolutely need the rain. Desperate for it. It's been dry as fuck. We can't have that, you know. Anyway, my perfumes will reflect the weather to a point, you know. Hasn't been as hot as it can be, or it has been anyway in previous weeks. So let's see what I wore. And on Monday I wore a classic Amber Pour Homme by Prada. What more can I say about this fragrance? Not a lot, so I won't. On Tuesday, I wore something very, very different in that I haven't worn this a lot or talked about it a lot, but I actually think a little bit similar in vibe. And this is Nexen by Tower. This is, as you can see, a limited edition. Mine is number 939 of 1,000. I've got a backup bottle because I actually really like this stuff. Big iris, geranium, like fresh but not citric. I think it's lemon blossom at the top. So it's like a floral lemon sort of thing. Really, like, everything takes the edge off. Very smooth, very creamy, very bright, fresh. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's an absolutely gorgeous fragrance. It's a shame that he didn't make more of it. It's a shame he didn't make more of it. That's sad, you know. But I know he used a lot of like expensive materials in here, like the ambergris and the iris and stuff like that. Not cheap. Doesn't smell cheap either. It's absolutely magnificent, if I'm being honest. I love that stuff a lot. I should wear it more often because I do have more. The sprayers are fucking appalling though. Oh dear. The sprayers are so bad. Okay, next up on Wednesday. I wore something completely different on Wednesday. And this is Incense Kyoto. No germs. Zagorsk is not better. This is Cyprus green incense. Fresh, woody. Very good spring fragrance, you know. You know when like trees are growing outwards, new branches, greenness, freshness, newness is in the air, renewal, all that good stuff, you know. All that really good stuff that we all enjoy about spring. The light, but it's still got depth. It's got that little bit of incense in there to keep it sort of coherent with the line, you know. It's a fantastic fragrance, underrated. Everybody talks about Avignon, which I do think is the best, but this is definitely underrated. I really like Avignon. I really love Avignon. But I'm starting to love this as well. The whole line's worth checking out, to be fair. I do like Zagorsk and Ouazazate, and then Jaisalmer as well as the other one. That's the Indian one. So there's a lot to discover in that line. Next up, who's we? The royal we wore something a little bit similar to Incense Kyoto in that it's very woody and it's got a slightly peppery kind of thing going on. This is Royal Oud by Creed. Royal Oud by Creed. Not much oud going on, I'm not going to lie to you, you know. But this is, excuse me whilst I hydrate. This is cedar. Impression Cedar Wood Heart is the actual material I think they used, because it's the same one that's used in an Ostens perfume that I've got that I rarely wear because of where I've put it. Not because I don't like it, but I've put it right at the back, at the top in the corner of my shelf, and it just never catches my eye. I should really change that because it's really good for spring and autumn. Actually, I might bust it out in autumn because it's got some violet leaf, which is really good too. Anyway, Royal Oud, pink pepper, big cedar, something a little bit ebony about it as well. Like a dark cedar, you know, like a stained cedar. Absolutely gorgeous perfume, to be honest. Found a backup bottle that I didn't know I had. Oh, the joys. You know, could sell that for quite a lot of money, but I actually really like this. When I feel like wearing this, nothing else will scratch that itch, which isn't true of a lot of perfumes, actually. There are not many perfumes that I don't have an alternative for. This, even the Impression Cedarwood Heart by Ostens, even though it's got the same cedarwood note, apart from that, it's a completely different fragrance. So nothing quite scratches the itch when I want to wear this other than this. And I love that about it. It is very, very particular, you know. It's a very particular fragrance. It's gorgeous. It really is a fantastic fragrance. One of the last great Creeds, to be honest. But I would try and make a case for Viking in there too, not to worry. On Friday, I wore something completely different. And this is Mont Fraîche by Healy. Healy's Mont Fraîche is a reference mint. It is green. It is creamy. It has tea. The mint is... It is literally like one of those like creme de menthe kind of things, you know. It is a creamy mint, but with like a twang. There's extra greenness in there. I think there's it's not a lemon. The other one, bergamot. It's got this little bit of sourness from the bergamot, which gives it this. So the sourness doesn't rift with the creamy sweetness of the mint, but it brings out the greenness of the mint leaf, if that makes sense. Mint's a very interesting note. You can do a lot of different things with a good mint. And this is a top mint. Spray a lot on to make it last. I've used 2/5 of a bottle. I know I'm getting into... I've used about 40 ml of that. I would say there's about 60 ml left. I really like this stuff. I've had it for a long time. Do I have anything like this? No. Again, very individual fragrance. Really nice fragrance. I'd love to smell that on someone else and see what I thought. I'd probably like it because I like the fragrance, but it would be interesting to know what it's like being around someone wearing some of these fragrances. Do you ever feel like that? It's quite strange. Anyway, yesterday, Saturday, if you will, and this is Sartorial by Penhaligon's. This came out in 2010 and it was made by Bertrand Duchaufour. This is lavender, beeswax, slightly aldehydic, metallic kind of... I think it's meant to give that kind of... what's its shtick? It's meant to be like a tailor's workshop sort of thing, you know, and it does smell like that. It does have that kind of ancient metal tools, you know, from like the 1920s when they made things to last, and like old kind of fabrics. bit of beeswax in there because that's apparently what they use as a lubricant for some of the machines. It's fabulous. It really is an absolutely gorgeous rig. It's brilliantly made. Everything is coherent and pieced together and balanced beautifully, pitch perfect. I get a little bit of Invasion Barbar from this, the dry lavender, you know, a Kumaran lavender kind of thing. Very interesting. I do find similarities between that and Invasion Barbar. Perhaps I will do a comparison one day, but perhaps not. And anyway, this brings me on to my scent of the day, and today this is an absolutely legendary fragrance, and nobody talks about it, but they fucking should. This is Ma Liberté. Ma Liberté by Jean Patou. This is one of the best lavenders you will ever smell. Floral, nutmeg. It's got that vintage vibe from the nutmeg and the sandalwood. Something a little bit fresh in the opening, a little bit floral. Gives that kind of classy feel. The sandalwood in here is magic. The sprayer is broken because it's one of them old vintage ones. So I'll have to decant this into a bottle, which I'm very upset about. But not to worry. It's just an absolutely incredible all-round fragrance. Got that Patou sandalwood thing going on in the base, which John Curlio ended up leaving Jean Patou over. That's a long story, which I will come on to another time, because it's about integrity in perfume, which is sorely lacking now. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all again soon.